Hello everyone, welcome to Mean Life Studies. In this video, we are going to solve one more SQL interview problem that was asked in Shopify interview. It is given customer's time log details and written highest time spending customer. Okay, it is given customer state log table having different columns like user ID, state, and timestamp. And we need to find that particular customer who is spending the highest amount of time in the platform. So if you observe the table, it is given user IDs and then state. This state represents the login, 1 represents login, and 0 represents log off. Same thing you can see here. And then it is given timestamp for each login and logout. Okay. So now if you observe, so the same user is been repeating multiple times. That means, so there are the users or the customers who is taking a login for a particular session. Login and log off, login, log off, login, log off, right? So same thing for remaining customers as well. So now we have to find the total time spending by each user or customer. Right. So how we can do that? So we have to find the time difference between this timestamp whenever this user login. So we have a timestamp, right? And whenever the user log out, then we have the timestamp. So we have to find the difference between these two timestamps. And then this is another session, right? So similarly, we have different sessions that each user has login and log off. So we have to add all of those sessions times, and then we have to find those particular customer who's spending the highest amount of time. Okay, so how we can do that here? So in order to do that, we have to we have to find the difference between the first session time login and then the same session time logout, right? So we have to find the difference between this one and this one. And again, this second session and this one. Same here, third and third logout. So here, if you observe, we have to compare this timestamp with this one. Similarly for remaining all. So now to do that, how we can do that here? By combining this record with this record, this record with this record, this one and this one, and similarly it will follow, right? So to do that, so we have to find who are the login. This is the first session logout, login, logout. Second session login, second session logout. Similarly here, third login, logout. So now if you observe, if we consider all the list of logins at a time, first one, second, third login for the same user. Similarly, for the second user, login, right? So now those will be considering as some sessions. And now for remaining all, it will be a first logout, second logout, third logout, right? So now by dividing these list of logins and list of logout, and then we can combine those respective sessions so that we can have those like timestamp login time and then timestamp logout time, so that we can easily find the difference between those two, and then we can add all of them, right? So let's do how we can do that. First, we have to combine, we have to combine those login and logout. So to do that, we have to divide these entire records into two lists, right? One is for login list and another for logout list, and each list will be taking for each sessions, right? So let's do that now. First, I'm just considering with logins as, so we are just considering select star from, sorry, this is customer state log where state equal to 1. Okay, so now if I return this one and select star from logins, that's going to return only those logins details, right? So these all are logins for each users, right? For user number 1, first session, second, third logins. These are the login timestamps, right? Because state 1 represents login time. Similarly, second, login of different timestamps. So if you observe, so this is different, this is different, this is different. So these three are different sessions that is login by this particular user. Same thing for remaining. So now, similarly, we are going to return all logout list. Okay. So now logouts as, same thing here. Select all data from customer log where state equal to 0. Okay. So now if I return select star from logouts, that's going to return all the list of logout, right? You can see now. So these all are 12 and remaining all are 12, right? So those two are the list of both logins and logouts. But if you observe, for each login, the customer has logged out, right? So now for those particular, we'll be considering as session number 1, session number 2. So this is the logout for session number 1 for a user number 1, and the same user session number 2, session number 3. Likewise, for 3 different sessions, we have 3 different logouts, 3 different logins. So now we have to find, I mean, difference between those two login times and logout times, right? So how we can do that? By combining these two results, right? So we have 12 records in logouts and 12 records in logins, right? So let's do it now. So now if I consider here logins, comma, I'm just trying to combining them logouts, okay? Where, okay, so let's do it. So if I do like this, what will happen? So there is no commonality, right? So if I do like this, it's going to return like it's a Cartesian, right? So you can see now how it's going to return. You can see it's returning total of 12 into 12 Cartesian records. That is 144 records it's returning. But we shouldn't have like this, right? So for that, we have to combine those data. So how we can do that? Combining as per their each user and then each session, right? For each user, each session we are going to combining. So that if you observe now, so these are the login times. Right. Same thing in the same logouts we'll be having for each user logout also there for each session 1, 2, 3 session and then 1, 2, 3 session. Right. So likewise we'll be having different session. Right. So for that either we have to have commonality to combine those two data. Right. So for that I'm just trying to return one more column as a session number. Okay. For each user what is the session number and then we are going to combine them. Okay. Let's see now. So how we can do that here? By returning one more, that is session number, like row number. I'm just using row number over order by, let's just use user ID and then timestamp. Okay, as RN from this one. Okay, same thing here also we have to return same. Okay, so now if I execute this one, let's see how it's going to return. For logins, you can see now for logins, it's returning just like a row numbers. We have just returning row number for each user or for the entire logins, right? So this is for entire logins we have done, right? So if you want to do for each, you can also do it, right? By using partition by of user ID, so that you'll be getting 1, 2, 3 for each session, 1, 2, 3 for each session, and this one is only one session. Likewise, you can also do that, no problem. So let's do that also, no problem. Partition by user ID, and then here also you can use partition by user ID. Okay, so now if I try to return this one, if I execute this enter, you can see now what is this error? Okay, incorrect syntax near login. Where is that? Okay, let's try to do it again. Where is the problem? So with city as this one, number as row number from this one, this is no problem. It's correct. Then to log out as comma is placed. Log out as this one. Let's do it. Okay, this one is okay, but okay, this one also no problem. But you have to close this bracket here. We have closed this one here. This one also no problem. So let's try to return one more logins. You can see here we are getting right. So now, so if you observe here, so we are getting session IDs for each user. So this is the first user. We will be getting 3 sessions, and the next user 3 session. The next user only 1 session. The next user 2 sessions. The similarly followed. Okay. So now the same thing will be for logouts also. Let's see now. Logouts. So here if you observe, 1 is repeating 3 times, 2 is repeating 3 times, 3 is for 1, 4 is 2, right? So let's do for logouts. So if you observe now, previously that was logins. Now this is logouts for each user 3 session, this user 3 session, user number 3 only 1 session, user number 4 2 and remaining. Okay. So now we are going to combine both them. How we can combine them? By using with help of this common number and then user ID. Right. Then only we'll be having right data to be merged. Okay. So let's see that. So select logins comma logouts where so okay, so we are just considering this as okay, we'll be taking the same table name logins dot rn equal to logouts dot rn. Okay, so now what will happen if I do like this? It's going to combine with remaining users also, right? So let's see now. If I try to combine like this, you can see total of 56 records you'll be getting, but our aim is to get only 12 records. Both are like logins and logouts, right? So because of here we have used partition by of each user, right? So you have to use and logins dot user id is equals to logins logouts. Okay, let's write it down. Logins dot user id is equals to logouts dot user id. Then only we'll be getting 12 records, right? So we are merging, I mean, we are joining these two tables on the basis of those two conditions, each session and with each user. So now if I try to execute this one, you can see it. We'll be getting only 12 records because of we have to combine as per the each user and then those respective session. We should not combine only as per their session because we have used here for each user ID. Okay. So now what are this one? Each user IDs, this is the time login. That is the timestamp for login time. And this is for logout time. Right. Similarly, this is for second session. You can see now second session are for this user. And this is second session for second user. And this is second session for fourth user. So likewise, we'll be getting logins and logouts for each user. Now what we have to do now? So let's try to return only whatever we require. So we required only user IDs and then time login, time logout. Okay. For that, I'm just considering this entire as another CTE. Okay. So let's do it now. I'm just considering this as CTE as this one. Okay. Now I'm just trying to return select only user ID and timestamp. So, okay, if you observe now, so here we are getting both as common, right? So let's have the difference here itself. So let's do logins dot user ID, and here itself we are going to return it. Okay, logins dot timestamp as login time and logouts dot timestamp as logout time. Okay. So now we are going to returning it. So let's try to return select star from CTE. That's going to return only 3 columns, right? So now if I try to return, execute this one, that's going to return only 3 columns. That is user IDs, login time, logout time, right? So now what we have to do now, we have to find the difference between this time session, I mean, this timestamp and this timestamp, right? So that we'll be getting the difference, I mean, the time, actual time spending by each user in each session, right? So let's do it now. So how we can do that now? So let's do it for select star command. That is, so here in SQL Server, we have date time of, right? So date diff of, okay, that is date difference of, what is that? We have to mention in hours, in minutes, in days, likewise, right? So we have here timestamp in each, if you observe, 30 also is given, right? So it's better to use minutes, okay? Minutes of what? That is login time, okay, and then log out time, okay, from CTE, okay, this is the one. So let's try to do this one. Okay, what is their minute? Okay, that's minute, not minutes, the minute. Yeah. So now if I execute this one, that's going to return, where is that logout, invalid column and logout, logout time, sorry. Now if I execute this one, that's going to return each user IDs and then the time spending for each sessions. Right. So now this is the first user in the first session. This is the time spending. Second session, this is the time. Third session, this is the time. So likewise, we have 3 different sessions, 3 different time spending for this user. Right. So now we'll be converting this minutes into hours. Let's do that. So how we can do that? By divided by 60. So if you do divided by 60 alone, that's going to return only integer. Right. So to get decimal values also we'll be using 60.0. Okay. Now if I try to return like this, that's going to return in time hours. 2.5, 2.5, 3.5 like this in hours. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to combine, like we have to add all of these for each user. So how we can do that? We have to use, like we are going to return only user ID and then we are going to adding all of them. Okay. For each user. So you have to use group by of user ID, right? So now if I try to execute this entire, that's going to return each user ID wise the total time spending. that is 8.4 for each user. You can see, sorry, user number 1, user number 2, this is the one, third user, this is the one, fourth, and like this, it's written. But our question is asking for written the highest time spending user. So what is that? Who is that? That is user number 1. So how we can do that? Here we can easily return by using top n. I mean top n class. But we don't know how many users will be spending the same time, right? When you have lot of data. So that is why we have to use window function. Always prefer to use dense RAM because we don't know how many people will be getting the same, right? So let's do it. Now I'm just returning, I'm just considering this as city2 as this table. And now we are going to assign select star comma dense rank over order by, that is this column, right? There is no name given, any name, right? We'll just been giving total time. Okay, order by total time descending order, right? And then this as drnk from CTE. Now if I try to execute this entry, that's going to return, sorry, this is not CTE, that is CTE2 na. So CTE2. So now if I try to execute this entire, that's going to return dense ranks. We are assigning the rankings for each user on the basis of total time spending, right? We have to find the highest. So that's why I'm just mentioning order by total time in descending order. If you want to return lowest one, you have to use order by total time in ascending order, right? So now we have to filter out this data by using dr and k equal to 1, so that we'll be getting that particular user, right? So who is spending the highest amount of time. So now we are going to store this as another CTE, that is CTE3 as this one. And then we are going to return only user ID. So you just consider user ID or customer, whatever it could. Okay. User ID from CTE3 where dr and k equal to 1. Okay. That's going to return our required, who is the customer who is spending the highest amount of time. Okay. That is user number 1. Okay. I hope you understood.